This block is part of the Riley Blake Designs block challenge for 2025. I'm using my own fabric, the Honeybees and Sunflowers Please, so it's a little bit different than what they're showing you for all of the other blocks. My block is number 16. Let's look at the supplies we need for this block. I have already pre-cut the pieces per the instructions, and what is really, really important if you are new to quilting is to always starch your fabric. You want your fabric to be a little bit stiff so that your cuts are precise, and when you're sewing all the pieces together, they're going to stay aligned nicely. You also want to make sure your rotary blade is nice and sharp. That is going to give you better and more precise cuts as well. Also use a new needle. I have drawn the diagonal lines on the pieces that we need to do that for, because in this block we're going to be using the stitch and flip method, which again, if you are new to quilting, means we are going to put this in the corner. We're going to sew on that line, and then we are going to flip this. So see, stitch and flip. Basically getting this white in the corner, we're keeping the same exact shape as our original piece, but we're adding other pieces with this stitch and flip method. I'm also going to show you how to make 8 half square triangles at the same time. I'm also going to show you how to cut them super easily using this Bloc-Loc ruler. We're going to need clips, maybe some pins, hopefully not a seam ripper, but possibly. Then another one of my secret weapons, love a quilter's clapper, which is a piece of wood that helps absorb heat and really flatten your seams. With quilting, it is really important to be precise with your seams and with your pressing. I'm going to be using a wool mat, a rotary mat also. That's going to help me cut the half square triangles without moving them, and that's going to help them be more precise and my work be a little bit faster. So that's what we got going on. Let's get started. So there are 2 that are really similar in size, 6-inch square, 6.5-inch square. So the center is going to be made out of this 6-inch square, and we are going to be doing double stitch and flip with the white and the gold. Now this is a white on white, so you can kind of see those bees. It's very subtle, so you can use it just like it's a solid. You have to pay close attention to figure out which side is the right side and which side is the wrong side when using a white on white fabric like that. I'm going to sew this one in this corner, this one in this corner, paying attention to the direction of these lines, following the chart in the directions from Riley Blake. I'm just going to sew right on this line. You want to use smaller stitch lengths when you're doing pieced quilting like this, because you don't knot at the beginning and end because a lot of things get cut. So I am using a 1.8 stitch length. And then I'm going to sew the other one on the opposite corner. So we did the stitch. Now it's time to cut and do the flip. Now I'm going to cut 1/4 inch from the stitch line to cut off these corners. We'll do that on both sides. These are going to fold back. Now I'm going to set the seams, which basically means to heat where you have stitched before you ever flip anything, and then just give it a little press with the quilter's clapper. That helps get any space and wiggle or whatever out of the stitching or the fabric. Then I'm just going to fold that back, and you'll see now we still have the same square shape, but this time we have the white corner. And that, my friends, is called stitch and flip. Now we are going to take the other 2 white pieces and put them on the opposite corners so that all 4 corners are going to be these bees on white. And then we're going to come back, do the same thing to make this gold tonal on the corner as well. It's important to be very, very precise when lining your squares up, making sure these edges are perfectly aligned. Now we're going to put gold in those corners with the stitch and flip method again. Now that we have the center done with the white and the gold in the corners, we're going to put that aside. And now I'm going to show you how to make 8 half square triangles at the same time. Both of these squares are 6.5 inches. I've drawn diagonals in both directions. We're just going to put those lined up. Then I am going to put 2 pins, but I'm going to make sure they stay away from the lines, because what we're going to do is we are going to sew 1/4 inch from each line on both sides in both directions. I'm using a 1/4 inch foot. So if I put the line at the edge of this foot, I will be sewing 1/4 inch from the left-hand side of that line. I'm just going to repeat that process until I have sewn all 4 lines. So one on each side of the two lines. Now we need to cut this 4 ways. We're going to cut vertically through the center, horizontally across, and then on these lines. And I believe the directions say to cut the lines first, but I like to cut the straight and straight first because if anything gets shifted, you already have these lines drawn. These will be a little bit less obvious for where they are. So I am using a rotating mat for this. So now to get this lined up where this center cross is in the center, you're going to put these lines on these diagonal lines on this rotating mat. So now we're going to go right through that center. So I'm going to do the first cut. Then I'm going to lift my ruler from one end like this. Don't scooch it because then this should stay in place. We can rotate it and then we can set up for our next cut without having to put those pieces together again. That one moved a little bit when I cut. But that's okay, and that's why I cut these first, because if it had moved a lot, it doesn't matter. We have that line drawn on, so we would know exactly where to do it, plus it is just cut on the diagonal of that square. Half square triangles, you can make 4, 8, or 16 at a time very easily, depending on the size square that you use to start with and how many you need in the end. So we're going to move this, grab our iron again. I'm just going to set all these seams. I'm going to put the dark side up and fold that. And of course, I think of Darth Vader and Star Wars every time I think, press to the dark side. All right, we have 8 of the half square triangles pressed and ready to go. Now we need to cut them. Half square triangles, basically it's a square and half of it is a triangle, hence the name, also called an HST. They're a great building block of so many quilt blocks. And you can also find a lot of different patterns where they're just using half square triangles organized in different ways. Now, one reason I love this Bloc-Loc is because it has this groove in here. I believe it's a patented groove that hooks right onto where the seam allowance is. So it hooks right on this section and makes cutting these and keeping everything even so much easier. Other blocks, they bounce a little bit, because the thickness of that seam does make it so it's not quite as flat. And in a perfect world, you cut the exact size of one of these blocks. There is a 2.5-inch block, and that one is a very common size. But for this quilt block, we need to cut these to 2 3/4 inches. So you're going to place this on here so that it slides right along that seam. You'll know you have it backwards if it's a really big part on one side and not on the other. And you're going to slide it to make sure you have that 3/4 mark within the fabric. Then you're just going to trim the 2 sides, spin, move it down so it is still lined up on this seam, but this 3/4 inch is on this edge, 3/4 inch is on this edge, and then we are going to cut the other 2 sides. And now you have a perfect square. That's one thing I love about half square triangles is even though you do have to take the time to trim them, you don't have to be absolutely perfect when they're sewn because there's always a little bit of leeway and you trim them down to be perfect after you have them sewn together. Now we're going to do the stitch and flip method to put gold corners in these 4 blocks. So 1 gold corner per block. So I've sewn all those lines. And then one thing that I like to do just to be efficient when I'm cutting so many is I just line them up separated but in the same direction. Make sure they're far enough apart that you're not going to cut the end of one. And then I can just move my ruler, go 1/4 inch from each one and get that done nice and quick. These little tips and efficiencies add up when you're doing a lot of blocks for quilting. I will also sometimes do this for setting my seams. I'll put all the seams in a row so I can just press once for all 4. Now to flip these 4 corners. Next, we are going to take our rectangular pieces and we are going to sew so that these points come into the rectangle like that. And we're going to do that 4 different ways. I'm going to use my design board to set up the next step because some of my fabric is directional. And if I can get it going in a direction I'd like, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put the 4 rectangles spread out and we're going to do these so that the white is next to the yellow, and this is coming in to the side. So see how that's then upside down? If we put it up here, everything's more right side up. So I'm just going to organize these so that things can be in the right direction whenever possible. Oops. We're going to do well on cognitive tests when we get older, because quilting is like doing these little anagram puzzles. So now we have 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 4 set. We're going to sew those together. I'm just grabbing these pieces from my design board, and I'm going to sew them with a scant 1/4 inch seam. And then I will press these 2 pieces apart and then add the 3rd piece until I have all 4 sets. When I know I'm going to be coming back to add more pieces, I always leave one on my sewing machine so I don't really have to start that thread over. And I'll go press these, set them up, and keep going. All right, just like every other time, we're going to set these seams and then press them open. I'm always going to refer back to the image on the directions and set these back up on my design board to make sure I still have them going in the direction that I want them to. So the one that's still on the sewing machine is going to go right here. So now we're going to do these pairs and come back. Well, that one went backwards. So they're supposed to have white next to that. Somehow I got not coming in at the same angle. So seam ripper to the rescue. Make sure I don't make the same mistake with this one. Now I'm going to use my design board again. And we are going to do our final rows. And so it's going to be 3 rows. These gold corners are going to be together, so make sure you have them pointing in. So we're going to sew this row, this row, this row, and then all 3 together. Now to make sure I do not sew the wrong things again, I'm going to clip them before I take them to my sewing machine. Never put your finger too close to here. I always use my scissors. I'm going to bring my design board back again. Once you do a few quilt blocks and you put them together wrong, like I did that one part, you'll realize laying them all out is a great step just to double check that you're getting things done correctly. Now we're finishing off our 3 rows. Now putting these rows together, you have to be more precise because we want to make sure these seams line up. There's not a lot of points and seams to line up here, which I like, but we do want these to line up. So what I do first is I match those seams. And then you want to look and make sure that the seam is lining up on this end as well as up here. Sometimes I like to put a clip over here too, just to make sure everything stays straight and doesn't shift. Now we just have 1 more row to put on. So just like before, these 2 seams are what we need to pay the most attention to. Now my town square block is done. We're just going to trim any threads off. When you're using quilt blocks with white, you definitely want to make sure there are no darker threads that are going to be behind this white when you go to quilt, or it will show through. So just be aware of that on your next quilting project. But I hope you like that block, and I hope you have been sewing along with the Riley Blake 2025 Block Challenge. I also have a membership at sewwithtarareed.com where you can find lots of tutorials. They will get the video tutorial with no ads. There's also exclusive content and many other things. You can try it for only $1 for 7 days. Jump in there, see if you like it, and hopefully you will decide to stay. There is a link below the video so you can find more information about that.